Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hardcore Heroes Otherside. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Mhm.
I
Good.
what have I started reading the Wheel of Time series because
hmm
that's been highly recommended to me for a while. So I finally sat down and started reading that.
How
And
is it?
it's pretty good. I'm only like 5 chapters in. It's got that whole first book of a fantasy series issue where you read like 5 chapters before anything happens at all.
hmm
But aside from that, it's competently written so far. Can't really say much about the plot, but I do like the premise. And aside from that, I've been playing Fire Emblem Fates because that's been out for about a year now. So I figured it was time I started to get into that one.
Very cool.
Yep.
What about you, Kine? Bastian?
Um,
Ranger?
well, I'm a bit sick, cold. It's flu season.
Hmm.
But nothing too bad. I had a haircut.
Very nice. It does look shorter.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
Well, I had hair that did go through here or something, so it's a bit different. And yeah, nothing big going on. But I just noticed we are black and white.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think this is a surprise to anybody that you guys are in a different area, and while it hasn't quite been spoken aloud in game, I think we all know what's going on here. That you
Yeah.
guys are in a desaturated world. Some might call this the Shadow Realm, or the Shadow Plane, or the Demi Plane of Shadow, or something else. We'll find out a
You,
little bit more
We've
about
been
that.
banished to the Shadow Realm.
we might say nobody else saw this because in the tavern we played a card game against someone who I don't know, his name was Kaiba or something, and sadly we lost. And we were banished to the Shadow
You
Realm.
know, he had a deck of many things, and you pulled the
Yeah.
wrong card, and boom, here you are.
Then some white-haired dickhead sent my grandpa to the Shadow Realm to force me to play in his trading card game tournament. It was really weird. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but it was a really fun ride. My ultra rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards fell overboard, and my friend jumped into the sea to go save them and almost drowned to death. It was a great time.
I mean, you probably jumped after them. I can swim. You can't.
Oh yeah, I didn't take swimming.
Yeah, I think you cast Walk on Water and you tried to swim in the water, so it didn't quite work because you just tried to get in the water and you couldn't.
Yeah. So before we hop into game, let's do a little bit more. Sean, I actually have a question for you for our normal weekly banter.
Sure.
Um, regarding coffee beans and grinding them right before you brew your coffee, as opposed to just getting a bag of ground coffee beans and storing it for a month. Is there
Okay.
really a benefit to grinding them right beforehand? Is there a
If you keep
substantial
them
flavor
whole bean, they
difference?
take longer to go stale.
But how long would something go stale? If it's in like a coffee bag and it's properly folded over, will you actually have a flavor change within like a month?
Within a month, probably, yeah. I'd say within about a month. I'm not sure myself because I usually get through a coffee bag in about 2 weeks, sometimes
Okay.
3. But yeah, I don't know. I would say whole bean is probably the way to go just to be on the safe side. But it's not that hard to grind beans, I'm going to be honest.
Well, I know, because you're always grinding beans before the show starts, and I just figured
Yep.
you must be an expert on this, so... Okay.
I only do that because you can't use an electric grinder with French presses without it being a pain in the ass because electric grinders won't do it consistent. Yeah.
Interesting.
You get a more consistent grind with the hand grinder. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense, but the internet told me, and I've noticed this myself because we have an electric grinder in the house. So I do hand grinding specifically for that reason.
Okay. Cool. Good to know. So, if you guys missed the last episode of Hardcore Heroes, you'll notice that everything's in black and white, or most everything. Everything that's on the shadow plane is in black and white. I transcend the planes, as do the overlays, so we're in color, but the players get to be in black and white.
We're artistic now.
Yeah. And you'll notice that Malachi is not around anywhere. So if you want to know what's going on with that, you should watch the previous episode of Hardcore Heroes, and then you can go check out Hardcore Heroes Arcadia, which is the sister show to Hardcore Heroes Otherside. So we'll just leave it with that and let you guys figure that out. Let's talk about changes, because we are making the move to 2. Neal or 2. N, or just our custom system that's always slightly evolving. And with that comes a lot of things.
Yes.
Death at -10 instead of at 0. Critical hits, weapon proficiencies and non-weapon proficiencies, and expertise, and all those fun things. So let's delve into weapon and non-weapon proficiencies.
Yeah.
Bastian, you want to start?
Yeah.
do you
Okay.
got?
For my weapon proficiencies, I have longbow, broadsword, dagger, and expertise and battle axe, which I expanded my backstory a bit. So it's not just I just not pull this out of my ass just because I have a battle axe.
Well, tell us about your backstory. Tell us why it is that you have the battle axe expertise.
It's because I figured, how did I learn Dwarvish in this remote village outside of Shirebrook? It's because a relatively old and pretty undwarvish dwarven family lived there. They also, I learned Dwarvish from the old husband and his wife, because our village was mostly hunters and woodcutters. Their main weapon were axes. And he taught me how to use a battle axe because I was the most promising youth of the village, being trained as a ranger. And that's since we were poor commoners, I couldn't afford a battle axe, and I inherited my former sword, my current armor and shield from my father, from my late father.
So you've got 2 proficiencies in battle axe,
Mhm.
2 proficiencies in bow,
Mhm.
and what else? You should have
One in
one more?
broadsword,
One
one in
broadsword?
broadsword, and one in dagger.
Dagger. Okay. You're level 6. That is all of your weapon proficiencies, and that means the non-weapon, the extra proficiency slots you got from your intelligence you used in non-weapons.
Yeah, it's only for non-weapons, I think.
For
No,
warriors, it
warriors
can
can
be used
do them
either
in
way.
weapons too.
You could have put them into weapons.
I don't need
Yeah.
any.
Cool. So what are your non-weapon proficiencies?
So from my from my ranger abilities, I have tracking, of course.
Hmm.
I didn't need to use any slots in there. I have Boyer and Fletcher.
Hmm.
I have herbalism because I have access as a ranger to the sweet proficiencies of the wizards. Or
Lovely.
whatever. I have language dwarvish, language giant, leatherworking. I did go with leatherworking, Sean. Musical instrument, flute, and swimming.
All right. Those all seem quite appropriate. What about you, Van Helsing? What are your weapons and non-weapons?
So for weapon proficiencies, I have an expertise in scimitar and a proficiency with a small shield. And that's it. I only have 3 points, but I get another one next level, in which case I'll probably go proficient with the bow.
Okay, bow
at that
slots
point.
take 2 proficiencies in
Oh, they do?
2 Neal, yeah.
Okay, then I will get a proficiency with the bow by 12th level.
Awesome. Super excited.
Yep.
And what about non-weapons?
Non-weapon proficiencies, I've got 8, I believe. Yeah, 8. I have ancient history, artistic ability, cooking, mathematics, reading and writing, religion, spellcraft, and stonemasonry.
All right.
Yeah,
Those
I
all
just
seem
tried.
very appropriate.
Yeah, I tried to go down a list and think of like what is Van Helsing here.
What is Van Helsing, really?
What is a man?
Are there any other rule changes that we need to discuss? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Question: will we use individual initiative?
Probably, most of the
Okay,
time.
then I need to add speed for my weapons.
Yeah. There will be times where it makes more sense to do group, but we'll probably do individual for most of it.
That probably works better with 2 people, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
With 3 and 4, it becomes a little bit bulkier.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are also going to notice a perception stat attached to each player. To get this, we just averaged the int and wisdom and rounded down, because it would have been really weird if all of a sudden Kine rolls a perception score and it's a 3, or Van Helsing rolls a perception score and it's an 18, or you know, whatever.
so,
it would be bizarre if all of a sudden someone had a really outlandish perception skill.
I mean, he still has a better perception than I have.
Yeah. So I didn't roll another stat and just roll OP again. I
Yeah.
just I already had OP stats, so I got OP.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just broken to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, I have above average perception, 13.
Yeah, that's average. It's the upper end of average, but it's right there.
It's only right below mine. It's not too far off.
Yeah, 13 versus 15. They're all good. You guys are great.
Neal, is my scimitar faster on account of being half a pound instead of 4 pounds?
Well,
It's a good question. No. It's light enough to be dual wielded. No, it probably should have an initiative boost to it. It was designed without an initiative system. Yeah, go ahead and give yourself an initiative bonus of I want to say 1 with it. I think it's normally
Okay.
5. So
yeah,
4?
so it'd be 4 now. Okay.
Yeah.
and the good thing is I have -2 to all my initiative rolls because of my dex.
Wait a minute. Is it a +2 scimitar van?
Yes.
Make it a -2 to initiative.
Okay, so it's 3.
Dex does affect weapon speed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I have 9
on a
dex.
17, I have a reaction adjustment of 2, so it's a -2 to initiative rolls, I think. It was the thing I almost always forgotten that one Shenanigans episode last time.
Where is that? People keep bringing that up, and I seem to recall that being a rule, but it's not actually in the dexterity section under ability scores.
Is
But
it?
people keep finding it and quoting
Yeah,
it, and I don't know
it's-
where.
I mean, the book is just so well organized. It keeps all relevant stats or all relevant blocks right where you would expect them to be.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not the worst thing if we say it's not there. Maybe under combat and tactics.
It might be in the combat and tactics, because I don't actually think
It might
it's
be under
in-
it might be under something with combat for rolling initiative and not under
Yeah.
dexterity.
That's what I'm looking for here, but I'm not seeing it under the combat section for initiative.
Initiative.
I'll check the
Standard-
combat and
standard
tactics. I have the book right here, so I'll
modifiers.
look at it really fast.
Modifiers to initiative.
Yeah, I believe you because people keep bringing it up, but I can never find the rule that says it. But it also makes sense as a rule.
I
If
don't-
Dex is going to modify your initiative, your dodging. It should probably modify your initiative too.
I mean,
I never understood that either. The because dexterity is your sleight of hand, right? I don't understand why you get better at dodging with a higher dex.
it's also how agile you are.
True.
The game is a nice approximation of things. It's never perfect.
Was it- Is it maybe a 2-point Neal rule?
I don't think so.
Let me check.
Initiative.
Uh,
17.
I don't think it's in the combat and tactics because the combat and tactics initiative system looks like a total mess.
Yeah, because they do the fast, average, slow,
They have
very slow stuff.
with like combat phases.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is very very strange.
Yeah.
Stop calling me Meta Ranger, guys. It's something everybody who plays with Neal says sometimes, that Dex influenced the initiative.
It's your character trait now. You're the Meta Ranger. It's your Ranger kit.
I can see things others cannot. I know what will happen. I can predict it. I can do the exact thing, the optimal thing that would be best in this situation. Always.
Yeah. Okay, so let's pick up where we left off. What happened last week as a nice recap for us? Or, more importantly, what happened since you got here?
I remember the end of the session. So, do you want to talk about the beginning of last session? Because I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, we basically, after Malachi did his, we didn't know about, did his little lesser gears thing with the Baron Twin Towers. Was it Twin Towers?
Mm-hmm.
I had a little sparring session with Van to test out what the steel battle axe, what kind of modifier it had. It did go wonderful. I mean, I exerted all my bad rolls for the entire session. I mean, I had like 4 7s or something. Almost.
Yeah, that was impressive. That was
yeah. We figured out it was +1 battle axe.
Yep.
After all, steel battle axe, and we did travel to Needford. And on the way, we did get our story straight, which Van would tell the Baron. Yeah, we arrived in Newford, took a day off, rested in the tavern, and the next day we arrived. We did go before the Baron. Van told a little story about why we did not attack Tyrus in town, because Sturge was there, or the guards. He convinced him. He told the Baron that we convinced him to leave Shirebrook, and that our plan was to assault him outside of town. But he got away, and we lost his tracks. And the whole story. The Baron was disappointed. Count Ironhide. Saladat Ironhide. Because, can't keep a straight face with the name anymore. Was not pleased, but he did not take any actions. He just dismissed us. And yeah, shame on you. Go away.
He bit his thumb at us.
And before traveling back to Shirebrook, we decided to sell some of the treasure we got. And we decided, hey, let's bring the king and queen's crowns to a jeweler. And yeah, we did that. He was quite impressed. It was a human, I think, and asked if he could get an historian. He got an historian, and that historian told us the crowns were how old? 700 years or 800 years or something?
Yeah, multiple centuries old.
Yeah. And they were once meant for the king and queen of Stromheim, but got lost on the way through the hills between High Castle and Stromheim. Yeah, and they were worth what together? I think 10,000.
Yeah, I think the two of them together were 10,000, and that was just the crowns, not the other items.
Yeah.
We never got those appraised.
Yeah. Do you want to continue?
Sure. So after that, we went back to Shirebrook. When we returned, Malachi spoke to some people in town and found out that the old Baron, having been lesser geist by him, abdicated his claim to the barony of Shirebrook and named Malachi as his successor. So we strolled into the keep as if it were our own, and people didn't take too kindly to that. Apparently, if a baron just names somebody else baron, they don't become baron that easily. But so Malachi, he was putting some feelers out, trying to sort of solidify his rule in the town, but it was going to be a sort of lengthy process. So Van Helsing and Kine offered to take Jeeves up to Tassel without him, saying that we could probably handle the trip on our own. We don't necessarily need you there for the trip. Probably better that you stay and solidify your rule here in Shirebrook. But before we had the chance, the next morning when we were going to take a carriage up to Tassel, something really strange happened. We noticed that it was getting very foggy indoors, which is not necessarily a good indication on its own. Kine tried to pull out his lightstone as things got darker, but the lightstone didn't help at all. And so we ran out into the street and found that everybody on the street, or everybody was piled up in this town square that we were at. The Storybrooke Inn is right on this town square. And there was nobody else anywhere. All of the other streets were empty. Malachi's house was empty and also wizard locked, which is a bit strange. We're in kind of what seems to be Shirebrook, but with most of the residents missing. And then as we traveled around a little bit looking for people, we noticed some strange shadow creatures that were trying to follow us on the road. And we opted to not mess with that and go back to the group. But as we got back to the group, we noticed that many more shadow creatures began to come out from the fog and are beginning to surround this group in the town square.
Yes, they are.
And I think we left off with Kine firing an arrow.
Yeah, not exactly shadow creatures. I think they were more fog
creatures.
With, I think, glowing yellow eyes or something.
I'm really hype on this whole shadow realm idea. Yeah. So I can't help
we have Jeeves with us, by the way, and also Mother Elise. I think 2 towns guards, was it? And since I mentioned it, Neal did mention the inn was full of knights and nobles from the villages, so some knights and
let's not say full. It was full of knights and nobles.
It was packed to the brim with nothing but knights. All of the nobles had gone to another inn to stay at. Only the knights were in the Storybrooke Inn. We have a lot of level 6 knights with the party right now.
With magic weapons.
Yes, they all have +3 magic swords of judgment.
Also, by the way, we did not sell any of the treasure, but we had the chest with all the treasure.
Yes, so talking about that, somebody mentioned that I assume Van was staying in the Storybrooke Inn because last time we were in town, I mentioned that I didn't want to stay in the temple. But another option would be that even if Van was staying in the temple, because I believe that's what Neal told Nick, Van would have taken the chest with him to the Storybook to hand it off to Malachi before leaving on the carriage.
Right, so the chest is with you.
Yeah. Because I'm the only one who can be around it without it trying to run away.
Poor Chester.
How convenient.
So I mentioned that Jeeves is at this point basically Frodo. He has a glowing magic dagger from me. He has an addiction. He has a destination he wants to reach, and he has a party that tries to protect him.
You know, it's probably not too far off, because apparently Frodo was in his 50s when he did his journey to Mordor.
Yeah.
How long do halflings live? Or hobbits?
I think a little bit longer than humans,
When
but
was
not by much.
what was Bilbo's birthday during the start of Lord of the Rings?
111, I think.
Yeah, so he was pretty old at that point.
Yeah, he was pretty. Yeah, so they live a little bit longer than humans, but not by much.
Frodo was middle-aged.
Yeah, he was really young in the movies, but in the books, I think they specify, because Gandalf apparently left for like 20 years after leaving to go study the ring.
Yeah, it was a long break.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shirebrook. Shadowrun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hardcore heroes.
So where's our wizard?
Okay, so you guys are in the town. These weird, shadowy, foggy creatures are approaching you. Their eyes begin to kind of dim from the bright yellow that they were, kind of to a more grayish color as Kine launches his shot. Kine, you want to roll the hit?
Way, could you you said we were kind of surrounded by these creatures? Was they approach from multiple directions? Could you maybe give us a rough layout so we not lose track of them?
That's fairly reasonable.
So
let's see if I can.
Let's fire a shot
for
first.
Shirebrook. Ooh, a 22. Hold on, I'm gonna bring up the map before that.
Okay.
If I can find it. The Shirebrook map is not great, guys. I apologize for the quality. This was never meant to be public. This was meant for my own edification, or for my own uses. So, sorry about the super ugly map.
I don't see a map. Oh.
You will.
Oh, okay. It's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen worse.
So you'll notice you guys are in this town square area. So there are 5 main road exits out of here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you guys are up here at this one, looking up. God, this is a terrible
We're
color.
up at which one? Oh, right by the Storybook.
Yeah, between the den and the Storybook. And so Kine is firing his arrow down that way, and a 22 is indeed a hit. Why don't you roll me some damage?
Ooh,
nice.
That's unexpected. Yeah. 8.
The arrow phases through harmlessly.
Yeah, I'm expecting that now.
No, your arrow strikes the foggy creature, who begins to dissolve before reforming, kind of stretching out, elongating, getting broader across the shoulders and chest area until it stands up on its 2 hind legs. About 5.5 feet tall, must weigh a couple 100 pounds. It's got this big barrel chest and these broad, it looks like plates on its body, like natural plates, not like a plate armor. Like you might find on a Triceratops or something, just these big chest plates coming down it. It's got large, thick, bulky, stocky arms that end in sharp claws on either side. A squished, broad face with long, pointed, kind of floppy ears on the side. And let's roll initiative.
All right.
Individual initiative?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So, do we ignore the dex thing, or...?
We'll leave the dex thing now. If we can find it later or not find it later, we'll make adjustments.
How far away is it?
I think it's like 60 feet. No, it's probably closer to 100 feet. Okay. Call it 100 feet.
Oh, 13. So we have, what, 100 people on the square? About 100 people? A couple of knights, a couple of guards, at least?
There's at least 100 people in here. or at least that you've seen around. They may not all be in the square right now. Some of them have gone back into the other buildings. We rolled initiative, and Sean goes first with a 5.
Okay. So Van says, Mother Elise, get behind me. You can't fall in this fight. Anyone who knows how to fight, come to my side. And then he starts to move forward to engage this this creature that's barreling down on them.
Okay.
Can I reach it and make an attack, or is it too far up the road?
It's 100 feet. You can move.
Okay, I'm gonna hold my position then and just be ready for it. Can I like hold an action so that when it reaches me I can attack?
Absolutely.
Cool, I'll do that.
Okay, Bastian, you go at 13. So this guy goes first. He lowers his head and revealing 2 small, little stubby horns on top, and makes a full charge straight at Van. Van, you've got a ready to attack.
Yes.
He's charging, so he's got a penalty of 2 to his AC.
Okay. Go note that. So +6, I believe. Yes. 15.
Hit. Your sword slices into him.
D8 +3. 4 damage. Excellent.
Lovely.
In case this is a magic-only creature, Harvest Moon is +2.
Excellent. 4 points of damage. Okay. Your sword slices it, doing real damage to it, as its head runs right into your shield, ricocheting to the side and kind of pushing you back a few inches.
Note that my shield gives me a +2 bonus because of the proficiency.
Awesome.
Oh, so I have 20 AC.
Your AC has gone up. Lovely.
20 AC, yeah.
I'll change that on the stats page. I forgot about it. Kine, you go at 13. So one of these other shadowy, foggy creatures that's got like the arms on both of its, for arms and legs that are stretched out wide, comes crawling along one of the buildings and leaping into the town square at one of the people. Van Helsing, you're engaged with this monster, so it's doing this behind you. You can't really see it.
Mm-hmm.
Kine, where are you? Are you side by side with Van? Or are you a little behind him, a little in front of him?
I'm behind him probably because he stepped forward.
Yeah, he was shooting with a bow too.
Give me a perception check at -4, Kine.
So, perception. Ooh, natural.
Awesome. Beautiful. Don't worry about it. It's your turn.
I turn around to the creature who jumped on someone.
Sure,
see it?
you don't see it.
Okay,
You saw it crawl across this building, you got distracted by Van being hit by this thing, and then you look back and the creature's gone.
I drop my bow. Can I draw my axe and make an attack against the creature?
Sure, if you just drop your bow to the ground. Yeah. Done.
Okay. +6. Ooh.
Ooh, no good.
It's okay, I get 2 attacks next round.
Another
You
one of
too.
these foggy creatures scuttles alongside of a building, crawling to the top of it, and leaps into the crowd as well. You both are focused on what's happening before you and cannot see.
Can I
what's going on with
speak,
it.
even though it's not my round? Really
Sure.
fast? Because I noticed these things coming along the buildings, right?
Mhm. Yeah, they're crawling on the side of the
Okay.
building as if they're
When
geckos.
Kine runs up, Van will say, I have this Kine. Go and protect the people in the back.
Okay, let's roll initiative.
Alright. Ooh. Oh, wait,
Very
sorry,
nice.
it's +3, so 4. I don't know why I put
Even
down
better.
5. Yeah.
Ooh.
Sean. And Hilson
All right.
goes first.
I'm going to make my first attack. 21
Hit.
for 9 damage.
Oh, wow.
And then do I take my second one at the end of the round, or
Yes,
just
sir.
now?
End of the
Okay.
round. Your scimitar cuts through its chest plates, kind of ripping them to the side, as this grayish fluid drips from its body. The creature goes against you, slashing with one claw, slashing with the other claw. Both of them are misses, scraping against your armor.
By the way,
Fine.
what are Elise and the other people doing?
They're screaming and panicking, and the people are all running to get inside buildings. Mother Elise is trying to shepherd them into this as the crowd tries to disperse and get to safety.
What are the knights doing?
You don't see any knights yet.
Oh, okay. So, and the guardsmen?
Okay. Kine, you turn around to go help the people in the crowd. Is that what
do
you're
I
doing?
see any do I see any monsters I could reach and attack?
Yes. So as you turn around to do this, you see one of those foggy creatures. It's got its arms attached to a person's shoulders, its legs on their hips, and is kind of like arching like a cat almost against them as it draws itself closer to the person, forcing its kind of foggy face on the person's face.
I will rush at them. And
All right, his turn goes before you, so before you can quite close with him, you see him pull the human, the random commoner in the town square against him and force their faces together, and then he just kind of slips inside the person.
Oh, shit. Then I think we have a problem. They seem to enter people.
It's your turn, Kine.
Do I see another creature I could reach except the
Just the one
Van?
fighting Van. Everything
Okay,
else is too confusing.
This is too dangerous. I can't let this creature do anything to Van like this. I will turn around and attack it.
Okay.
11?
No.
And I get
swing
my
and a miss.
second attack. I get a second attack at the end of the round.
Right, but Van gets his second attack first, and then you get yours, so go for it, Van.
It's not. There we go. 23.
Ooh, hit! Does not clear by 10, so not a crit.
9 damage again.
Alright, you slice this creature in two, it falls to the ground. Well, not all the way in two. You slice it deeply, and it crumples into the ground.
All right, Van's gonna turn around and start running back toward Mother Elise.
Okay. Mother Elise is helping to shepherd people inside buildings. Not that they really need help. They're all running for their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I will run up to the person the monster or the creature kind of got into.
The person has collapsed into a ball on the ground and is holding their head while coughing and then puking.
I call for Elise or Van. Van, the creature entered him. I don't know what it did.
Well-
Some kind of...
Mother Elise, I have a spell that could stop this creature from attacking somebody that it was cast on, but I don't know if it would work on something that it's already
She's not paying
inside.
attention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're calling after her, and then you look up and you see that her back is to you, and she's still trying to.
So there's a guy on the ground, like puking and like clutching at his.
Yeah.
I don't know if this would even work because it's already inside of him.
Do we see any other creatures?
Give me a perception check. Kine.
19?
No. 21 is what you need.
I cover Van with my axe. I pick up my bow.
Sure. Why don't you roll me initiative, Kine, as you pick up your bow? Van Helsing, you can roll initiative 2 if you'd like,
Okay.
but I figure you're looking at this person trying to figure out what to do with them.
Yeah, I don't have a healing proficiency, so. Yeah, there's. Let me see if I can even use this on another person. before I
Does
even
my
pick up
do I have
this.
to roll my weapon speed even if I just want to ready an action?
Yes.
Okay. 13. So slow.
So slow. Van Helsing, are you actioning
Van
up?
is going to. Yes, I'm going to action up.
Yeah, this is becoming just like an alien.
Plus 3. There you go.
Okay. So Van is looking at this person. Anything in particular you're doing while you're doing this? While you're focusing on this person here in front of you?
Does it look like he's actively being attacked in any way? Do I see like any wounds opening up on his body, or do I see any sign of like hemorrhaging, anything that would indicate like internal bleeding?
No. He's no signs.
Okay.
Anything you're doing?
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on this guy. Any creature, any opponent attempting to strike or otherwise directly attack the protected creature must roll a saving throw versus spell. If the save is successful, the opponent can attack normally and is unaffected. If it's failed, they ignore the creature for the remainder of the spell.
Okay. Interesting spell. Kine, you get your bow up, you get an arrow notched as you see one of these.
No, I just put it away because I know the arrows would do anything. So I saw the arrows not do anything, or not much. I will just put it away and ready myself if I see anything.
So you have your sword out then. I apologize. When you
My
see
axe.
your axe out, when you see one of these one of
And my
these
shield.
foggy creatures coming down the area from near where the half pint is.
Okay.
The town square is not entirely cleared out, but people are packing into various buildings. when you see one of these creatures kind of crawling across the ground. You can go ahead and make a move because you beat him in initiative.
Towards us?
Yeah, he's coming into the
us?
town square as a whole, or it is coming to the town square as a whole.
I will stand in front, Van doing his thing, ready my axe.
Okay.
So
The creature moves towards a group of civilians, launches itself at one of them, grabs onto it from the back, its hands digging into the guy's shoulders, its legs kind of crouched on his hips, and begins to merge with the person who collapses to the ground. And then you see another one coming from the same area near the half pint, this time cruising the other direction, more towards you, towards the people that are trying to crawl, get into the half pint itself.
Van, this is no use. We can't stay here. More and more, these creatures will enter more and more people.
When I cast Sanctuary on this guy, did the thing come out, is what I'm wondering.
You
first
haven't
off.
seen anything happen yet.
Okay, so I'm going to keep an eye on this guy, but I'm going to back up a little bit and look for Mother Elise.
Okay. You spot her ushering people into the main temple in the town square.
Okay. So I'm going to go up to her and how far away is she from this guy on the ground?
Oh god, still on the thingy.
Like, I just want to know if I can still... Okay, so as long as I can still see him, I'm going to sort of, go back to her, keep taking quick glances at the guy on the ground occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get to her, I say, I have a theory that these things are coming in mass because we're all grouped together. I think they might be attracted to large groups of life. I don't know if staying grouped up in one temple is going to be an effective long-term solution.
She looks at you blankly. Are you saying that we should all run away and split up?
Not immediately, but we need to think of something long-term.
She nods.
There are knights. There were knights in the Storybrooke Inn. Are any of them in the temple?
She shakes her head.
Okay. So at this point, have I seen anything come out of the guy on the ground?
Nope. He's still
Okay.
just chilling.
All right. Then Kine, can you bring that man back? Be very careful. There's something inside of him, as you said.
The creature you said is approaching. Is it coming towards us? Or towards other people?
The creature is coming towards another group of people, not towards you.
I pick the guy up and drag him towards the van.
Okay.
Usher the people. Follow me here.
One thing to note, Neal, it does say that if it fails the save, they completely ignore the creature.
Yes.
Okay. So
Does
it might
say
have just
about
passed its
something
save.
already affecting the creature, or the?
If it's actively attacking him, then it would have to stop, I would imagine. But anyways, aside from that, I guess Van is just going to help Mother Elise secure the temple.
Okay. 25. Hold on one sec here. 25, not 0.25. There we go. This is more appropriate. This is a to scale now, or mostly to scale. I guess not, actually. This is not working at all. Screw it. We'll deal with the scale later. The other one comes and launches itself at a person, grabbing onto its back. Or the person turns around, so the foggy creature grabs onto him and tries to force his way in. The person manages to get a hand against this misty thing, which seems to hold it back, even though you can sort of see through the creature. The man falls to the ground on his back, shoving this mist thing away from it, or fog thing away from it, as it tries to force itself on him. And go ahead.
Initiative, or?
Yeah, initiative.
I would, yeah. Let's hope I go fast enough. Come on, 7.
Ooh, nice.
It goes first and successfully shoves itself into this civilian. Looking around, the town square is mostly cleared out now, but you see maybe 6 or 7 people on the ground kind of rolling back and forth.
Are they, do they seem all, or do they show all the same symptoms? Of
It's like
puking?
6 or 7 people just kind of all clutching themselves on the ground. They're not all doing the exact same thing. They're not all puking at the same time, but they're all writhing on the ground in similar states of discomfort and distress.
Yeah, I drag the guy to Van, hand him to Van, and keep looking around for any creatures coming.
The scene is fairly quiet. You look around and see no more entering the area.
Okay.
It's just you guys, Mother Elise, and the 6, now that you count them, exactly 6 people standing around.
Oh, so there's only 6 people who went into the temple?
No. 6 people rolling around on the ground in the town square. Everyone else has pushed themselves into buildings nearby.
Mother Elise, I think we need to secure the temple.
I think it's this time when you're looking around, and even though it's still quite foggy everywhere, you are well aware that there's no color. Everything is desaturated. Everything is grayscale.
Okay.
Wherever we are, it's not really Shirebrook anymore. I mean, light. There's not truly light. The stone or the arrow did not show any effect, and everything is drained of color.
And it's dim. It's that twilight sort of light where things are, you can see, but your night vision and your day vision are slightly working against each other, and everything is just kind of hard to see. You got to squint, and things in the distance are hard to tell apart.
Okay.
Whatever. We have to take care of these people now. These creatures entered them, and I don't know what they are doing.
It pains me to admit it, but I think we need to leave the people on the streets.
Although
if those creatures,
Elise looks at you aghast. Abandon them?
Those creatures entered their bodies. If we drag them into the temple, those creatures will enter the temple too. We're already dragging one in.
You can't mean to leave these people to die out here alone.
And if we take them in to try and save them, how many people are going to die when those creatures exit their bodies?
What if they don't? You don't know that they will.
No, but would you risk everybody in the temple to save those 6 lives?
We can lock them in one of the other rooms. We don't have to leave them in the main area. We can lock them in my quarters. I'll shut the door. Bar them in.
Fine, but we need a guard there 24/7. I want eyes on it just in case something comes out.
Does your quarter have windows?
She nods.
Yeah, these creatures probably can. They kind of can reform themselves. They can probably leave through small windows or something.
I would imagine a crack in the door as well. Then
we can't risk it. It's too dangerous for the people.
Well, if they get out the window, they just go to the outside. Isn't that the same as if we had left them out here?
If they can reshape their bodies, who's to say they can't go through a crack in a door?
Whatever, we have to figure out what these creatures are doing with them. If they're just killing them,
we already brought one man who was collapsed on the street in. I know we can't save, even if we don't save the other 6. I think keeping it down to one man is safer, and it will help protect the people of Shirebrook. At
least we can try to figure out what these creatures are doing.
I'm not keen to making sacrifices such as this, but in the long run, I think more people in Shirebrook will be saved if we do this.
Out of the Storybrook Inn come a few nobles and their knights.
Okay.
You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see 8 people, very finely dressed, except for the fact that everything they're wearing is in black and white, coming out. There are a few elderly folk, couple in their 70s and 80s, and a few in their 50s, and a few in their 20s and 30s.
Okay.
You would know many of these people. You recognize Lady Esther Highwind and her husband Thoros, as well as Lord Boxer and his wife Jessica, and Lord Seth, as well as 2 knights and one other noble woman that you don't recognize, coming out of the Storybrook to the main town square.
Okay, Van's gonna wave them toward the temple.
So it's the 2 of you plus Mother Elise plus these, whatever I said, 7, all in the town square, and you guys are moving towards the temple.
Yeah, and we have the one guy that Kind dragged back, but I don't think I think we're leaving the others where they are.
Yeah. Yeah, but keeping a watch on them.
Yeah.
Okay. Lady Highwind comes up to you. She's late 70s, big saggy wrinkles on her face, very fine jewelry, and a scarf covering her jowly throat. She looks to Mother Elise and then to Van Helsing and says, "What is the meaning of all this?"
I don't know myself. Get in the temple where it's safe.
And how dare you order me about, young man?
Or stay out here and die. It's up to you.
She looks to Mother Elise, who gives her a patient nod and says, "Please, come into the temple here. We will try to take care of everything." One of the knights steps up. She introduces herself as Breda, Kel Breda, and comes up directly to Kine and Van Helsing, looking around at this area and says, "What are these? What is this place? Why are these people?"
We don't know. These creatures we encountered, they're kind of foggy. Whatever they are, they entered these people's bodies and doing something with them, either harm or whatever. And we can't risk bringing them into the temple, or else we would put all the other people at risk.
She furrows her brow as she slowly draws her longsword.
What are you
I'm not
doing?
sure if your weapon will do much good. My friend here fired an arrow, and it phased right through the creature. I think magical weapons may be necessary for these.
Yes, indeed.
Tell me, how many, Neal, how many knights were there?
2.
2 knights. Okay. How many other knights do you know that aren't here at the moment?
Aren't here?
That you know passed into whatever this place is, but aren't here in the temple.
It's just myself and Lord Kugler.
I assume you are both quite capable combatants, so I have a spell that I will prepare for the lot of us, something that will help keep us awake so that we don't fall to fatigue. I feel we're going to be doing quite a bit of guarding in the coming days.
Yes.
Coming
We should-
days? What do you mean? Isn't this something you know how to get out of? Haven't you been doing this sort of thing for a while?
I don't think anyone even knows where we are right now.
I have a suspicion what this kind of thing or this whole thing is, but then it might be what the other two villages, other villages happened there. I mean,
It could be.
we are not. Look at this place. We are not in the Shire Brook anymore. We know, and
Bear in mind that their bodies were on the prime material plane, and I have a feeling, he says, like turning to the knight, that we've shifted to another plane of existence entirely. This is going to be a bit of a tricky situation to get out of.
If this is what happened to all the disappeared villages, then we're not going back home, are we?
we
Well,
don't know.
it's possible. I don't think any of the disappeared villages had any of us there at the time.
Anyway,
Mother
And
Elise...
I
Oh, go ahead.
I turned to Van and close to him and whispering, put a hand on his shoulder. It might be best to try to contact Cheese now. This is not a time for modesty anymore.
Sure, but give me some time to arrange some defenses for this temple, and then we can worry about that.
Yeah.
Mother Elise speaks up, saying, "Speaking of, what about the people who aren't in the temple? Not everyone will fit there. We've got people in all these buildings around here. We can't just
if this-
defend the one."
This place.
The best we can do is keep a lookout, looking at these other buildings, see if any of them try to swarm it.
Allow me to speak, but if this place is another plane, if Van is right, it seems to mirror whatever place the prime plane, material plane. So maybe we could find other places that exist there. Maybe you find a bigger place, maybe the keep.
We could all go to the keep. If we're on a different plane, I don't think anybody's going to object to our entering.
Retta chuckles. "I don't think people objecting is something we should be concerning ourselves with right now. There's a
Sure,
moment
but
where
either-
survival takes precedence."
That's true. Either way, Mother Elise, can you grab the other knight and gather around with me really quickly?
Sure. Someone grabs the other knight, Lord Kugler,
Alright.
and
And
his
I'm going-
wife.
Cool. So I'm going to cast Unfailing Endurance on a lot of us.
How many people can you affect?
7.
So
So
you're affecting the two of
Kine-
you, the two knights, and Mother Elise.
Yes, and then if there was somebody
5.
else who seemed like a competent fighter, I'd add them to the group, but otherwise, just the
There's
5 of
the
us.
2 town guard.
Sure, I'll add them.
Okay. So all the warriors gather around, the 7 of you. You cast Unfailing Endurance on all of you.
Yes. So we're practically immune to the effects of fatigue for 7 days. We'd still have to sleep to recover spells, but we could probably do an all-nighter without too much issue.
Yeah. As you are casting the spell, the others are discussing the possibility of moving into the castle and seem to agree that it's a pretty good idea. And why don't we take our first break as you cast Unfailing Endurance, and we'll see what happens on the other side. Bye, everyone.